Do you think that she's justified in getting a divorce from her husband because he's purposefully tightening the jar lids in the house to give her a hard time and lying about doing it on purpose? Do you think that she is, that she is justified in trying to get a divorce because of this? Or is she the asshole? Is she being, doing too much like her family and friends think, like some of these people think in the comments? In my opinion, I definitely think she is not the asshole. I think let me tell you something, baby. I would get divorced for less. And I think she is 100% justified in getting a divorce. There are so many reasons why she is 100% justified in getting a freaking divorce from him. First and foremost, this man was going out of his way to make his wife's life a little more difficult in the tiniest, most psychopathic of ways. This shit is psycho as fuck. Tightening the jar lids excessively because you know that your wife is going to struggle to open them, especially after she's asked you repeatedly over and over and over again, and you've changed the behavior. So you can change it. You've changed the behavior, but eventually you always go back to the same old fuck shit until she goes off again. Doing this type of tiny little this is equivalent to like Chinese water torture. This is equivalent to cuts, death by a million paper cuts. This is the type of psycho ass behavior that makes people lose their marbles, yo. This is the type of behavior of someone who will fucking kill you, who will murder you. And I know that people will say like that's a huge leap to go from tightening the jar lids too tight so that your wife can't open them to murder, but the type of mind that will go out of their way to secretly tighten every freaking jar lid, including the jar lids of things he doesn't even use. The hot pepper paste, the mango chutney, right? The mango puree, even the things someone who will go out of their way to do that is a fucking psychopath, and you should run from them. And you should also be asking yourself the question, what other secret little tiny things has he been doing to make me go crazy during this 5-year marriage? It begs the question, doesn't it? I mean, this is insane work. And it also speaks to another reason why I am 100% behind this woman getting a divorce because her husband tightened the jar lids too tight, is because it screams insecurity. It screams needing to be needed. Remember, as she broke down her story, she talked about how it was okay when he was around, right? When her husband was around and the jar lids were too tight, it was all good. No big deal. She could just ask him for help. But when he wasn't around, that's when it was the most frustrating for her because she couldn't get them open and he wasn't there to help her. And this just screams of creating a problem so that you can be the solution. And that is manipulation. That is gaslighting and manipulation, y'all. And it is dangerous behavior, and it is insecure behavior. This man feels like he has to go in and tighten every single jar lid in the house so that he can keep his wife around, because in his mind he's thinking, well, who's she gonna get to open these jar lids if she breaks up with me? She'll never break up with me because she'll never have someone to open these jar lids, without him realizing that, dog, if she breaks up with you, there won't be anybody creating the problem in the first place. There won't be anybody tightening the jars in the first place. So she won't have an issue. But insecurity blocks your cognitive abilities, your thinking skills. And so instead of working on your insecurity, you come up with stupid ass plans, sneaky little plans like tightening every single jar lid in the house so your wife can need you and not leave you because she needs you. Insecure people are some of the most dangerous people to be around because insecure people will do anything when they're feeling in the heat of the moment of feeling insecure. They will do anything to alleviate that insecurity, like tightening all of the jar lids in the house to make sure that their wife doesn't get a divorce because they're dependent on you. And then, another reason why I 100% support this woman for getting divorced is because this is a tactic that a lot of men do. Most men do, cishet men, when they are in relationships with women, okay? Men will purposefully drive you crazy, ladies. This is a tactic that men use on purpose. And they do it for several reasons. One, it's to keep you off your game. It's to constantly have you on edge, always stressed out, because they are constantly doing little tiny things like tightening the jar lids too damn tight for you to open them. Or like one of my mutuals on TikTok, Laura Burns spelled Byrnes, if you want to go find her. She told a story about her husband, her ex-husband, how when they were married, he used to throw his clothes right next to the hamper. Not in the hamper, right next to the hamper. No matter how many times Laura would argue with this man and fight with this man about him throwing his clothes in the hamper, he would put it right next to the hamper. They do it on purpose, ladies, because they're trying to fuck with your head. They're trying to keep you off your game. Because when they keep you off your game, they can maintain control and exert power over you in the relationship. They know that when women are on their game, that they can't compete with us. So they keep us off our game by keeping us stressed, by doing these stupid little inconveniences, throwing your clothes right next to the hamper, tightening the jar lids too tight, pretending like you can't hear the baby crying when you're sleeping, even though you know you can hear it, so that your wife gets up to go take care of the baby and you can keep sleeping. They do this stuff on purpose. I had a friend who one of her exes punched a hole in her door. And he did it, and he told her it was because he was trying to get a rise out of her. They do it on purpose, ladies. They want to maintain control over you by keeping you on edge. Chinese water torture. If you're constantly on edge, your nerves are shot, you're afraid, your mind is always racing, you're always waiting for the next shoe to drop by this guy, right? He keeps you on edge on purpose. And they do that also because they're energy vampires. Cishet men are energy vampires when it comes to women. They drink up the energy from women. And they do these little fucked up things to try to activate you, to get a charge out of you so they can suck it up. They can suck up that energy. You know, when you're fucking with somebody, right? You're fucking with them and they're getting angrier and angrier and you're loving every second of it because you're just, you're messing around with them. And this could be negative or positive, right? But in a positive way, like you're just poking fun, right? And the angrier they get, the more energized you get, right? Because you're sucking in that energy. They're exuding energy, a certain energy, and you're just drinking that up. And that's what men do when it comes to driving women crazy intentionally. Messing with their partners, their wives, their girlfriends intentionally to keep women off their game. They are energy vampires, sucking the life out of you, draining you by doing stupid little things like tightening the jar lid too tight, pretending they don't hear that baby crying. All the other nonsense that women constantly complain about their cishet partners doing, their male cishet partners doing to them. And when you get frustrated and when you get upset and when you're knocked off your game, that man is just drinking that energy up, sucking it up, energy vampire style.